Derbyshire Remembers is a project to commemorate World War I and has been supported by the Heritage Lottery Fund. We work with some really enthusiastic volunteers on this project who received training from our partner organisations, and they were able to research around what it was like in Derby City and Derbyshire during the war to end all wars.
I had no preconceived idea of what I was going to research at all, and you sort of pick out, oh, that's a good idea, hey, I'd like to go that way.
I would have just concentrated on the soldiers, the battles, but my colleagues are doing other things like what things were like at home on the home front, and you tend to forget about those things.
It was really quite important to produce the information in a way that was not just acceptable, but engaging.
The culmination of the work that was undertaken by the volunteers was to produce a set of child-friendly archive cards that could be used in our sessions with the children. We work with Dale Primary School in Derby City and Sudbury Primary School in Derbyshire, and we work with the children towards making an exhibition for the National Trust.
We'll need to probably learn a lot about what it was like in World War I.
As drama practitioners, we work in schools using Mantle of the Expert, which means the children are in role as experts doing a job for an important client.
I really hope you can take this job on because we are up against a tight deadline.
We work in an imaginary world, so our classroom is transformed into our office, and we can use drama to transport ourselves back through history.
We're going to make an exhibition.
There are 79 cards altogether, but I know they won't all be able to make the exhibition, so you'll have to select them carefully.
The use of the resource cards allowed the children to choose their learning, which is incredibly powerful.
The cards were very high quality, and because it was about people around here, they were just more interested.
To the men of Derbyshire, it says. It's known as the dead man's penny. We're going to look around the museum. I think it's like a mystery.
The children came to Sudbury Hall in order to visit the Museum of Childhood. As curators, they needed to understand how an exhibition was put together so that they could really visualise how they were going to put the Derbyshire Remembers exhibition together.
We're doing an exhibition and we need all this information.
I really think the project increased their vocabulary. They learnt words that they hadn't used before, obviously specific words to World War I.
Propaganda!
We're discussing if we should sign up for the war or not. Luke would want to go to war, but I wouldn't because it's scary.
We might imagine ourselves as soldiers serving on the front line, or think about the people that were left in Derby and what they did to help with the war effort.
I loved the switch between when they weren't in role to when they were in role. And they would just say what job they did, and then they would say how they did it and why they did it.
You put the exploder in, she does that, do that. In my hands. Last year, people died because of this heat.
We have the king arriving to see what we're doing. Can you go out there and speak to somebody that you think would have some sensible ideas about what we can do about this heat?
The theatre practitioners spent a lot of time changing from themselves into whoever they were being. The children were incredibly focused during that. It really made them transform into that person, and they believed that person was the new person they were being for that time.
I wonder if and when the war does end, will it all have been worth it?
One more bed left in the ward, but we've got 2 men on their way, so what do we do?
They really took ownership of what they were doing. They were really involved and keen because they believed what they said was being listened to and it was acted upon, and their ideas did happen.
If one of my recruitments come with me with 2 pails of water each, we can maybe get some more water from the river next to the hospital. Yes. No earrings next time.
I think you're okay.
All yellow stuff. Can you please stand here?
This was on the front of all the newspapers. Blown up factory.
Kaboom! We're trying to find stuff about Joseph Arthur Hotchkiss. That's him. Guys, I've got a photograph of him. A birthday card, letter,
A place, like a court where justice is served, where people will have to go and explain their reasons why they couldn't go to fight in the war.
I need to make sure that all the children of England are educated, otherwise in the future they will have a good future.
Dumping empty shell cases, that's quite a tricky job because they're a bit heavy.
Build evacuation routes. Difficult. There's none that I'd like to do, except from guard the prisoners.
The project being more focused on World War I in Derby worked well because it gave the children the ability really to understand it more. The first bomb that was dropped is just down the road from them. Geographically, it just made it more real to them and more interesting.
We're making the trenches for the map. They're infested with rats and they're not at all. We need to make rats in there.
We've been writing a letter to our family members about what's been going on because we've just had a big bombshell hit the front line last night.
We're going to Matlock so we can learn more about World War I.
Really excited.
The sessions really were aimed at having a look at some of the original material. They got to have a bit of a tour and see what we actually do and how archives work.
This was in the factory where they worked. This little badge thing says vote for women. It's not just about like what the men do, it's about what the women do as well.
Dear Diary, it was the worst night of my life.
A huge zeppelin flew across Derby. Boom!
A bomb. I was horrified.
The children were working really hard throughout the week to gather their ideas and prepare their presentation for the National Trust, as the exhibition that they put forward might not have been accepted.
We're thinking of things that we could add in that exhibition. The tribunal, the high people lied about their age because they wanted to go to the war. We're doing about the Battle of the Mud.
This exhibition really has been curated by local volunteers and local children, and it should be something that Derbyshire is very proud of.
This was our deadline, this was our final day that we need to finish everything.
We're placing our pictures and information on the board.
I was very excited at the start and I think it was worth it being excited, really worth it.
It's been great. I don't really want it to end.
It's like we've been going back in time. I think we are going to do it because we've got a good team and everyone's working really hard.
We hope that this project goes some way to unearthing new discoveries about what Derbyshire was like in World War I, and we really hope that this inspires people to want to find out more.
We'll be very thankful if you choose our exhibition. Thank you.
It was wonderful going to see their presentations. They'd obviously worked extremely hard during the week and really understood the stories and explored them, not just the facts, but how people must have felt then. So I was incredibly impressed with what the children had come up with, and we were delighted to accept their proposal.
Every day I go home from school, I've always been looking forward to the next day and I can't get to sleep.
It's so much fun! I like being an expert because you do a lot of work in a short amount of time. Bye-bye!
We've come to launch our exhibition.
Exhibition!
Excited.
We're coming to see our exhibition that we did on our World War I week.
A bit nervous because you've not got any clue how it's going to end up. Really good, like this.
Awesome.
I like the way you put it together, like the different diaries put together.
It's absolutely breathtaking because she told me about all this on different days when she was coming home, but I can see it's all come together and the enthusiasm, it's brilliant, isn't it? And the way they're in touch with what happened. I think more importantly, they kind of felt what these people were going through and they've expressed it through their work, so I think it's fantastic.
It's really cool the way they did that explosion thing, like boom, bam, whoop.
Brilliant, she did so well. The whole school, both schools did really, really well.
so proud.
I thought it was great to see the children's work come to life and see it all realised. It makes me feel proud, and it makes me feel proud to see how proud they are.
Just seeing what all the kids have put their effort into. I mean, she had loads to explain about when she came home from school, and just seeing all the work that they've actually done is amazing.
Awesome! Hello! Hello! Over there's our map. I think we've done an amazing job, and I'm really proud of all my other friends because they've worked really hard on it. I think it's amazing because we've put loads of hard work into doing it.
Really good. It's brilliant. Shows you what the children have been doing. It's great.
It's good that two schools have come together to present this exhibition. The most interesting part is they can have like a little game over there. They can listen to some things over here.
It's amazing, and it's local.
I think the children have done excellently well. I really think that the effort that's put into it is unbelievable, and they've enjoyed every minute of it.